And there we go. All right, so welcome everybody. And so tonight we're here. Hello. So tonight we're here and it's really about nurturing yourself. So we're going to spend an hour together to really just turn back inwards and give ourselves that little bit of love that that we've been craving. So, especially in these times where people are starting to feel like, people are talking about languishing and COVID fatigue. And so, we want to turn back to how do we fill our cups? How do we keep staying full and able to go back into each day full of love, full of radiance, full of compassion? And so it's really about that love and that compassion that we extend outwards. But today we're going to spend some time kind of reconnecting inwards. So welcome everyone. And so for those of you who don't know me, so my name is Melanie. It says Metamorphosis Healing, so that's my business name. And I practice a discipline of energy healing called Huna. And Huna is rooted in ancient Hawaiian philosophy and shamanism. And the word itself means secret. So it has been passed down generations through word of mouth, through family. But why I connected with it and what I love about this modality is about empowering. It's about increasing your spirituality, about increasing your awareness of your energy. And it's really around reconnecting to your truth. And so for me, that when I connected with that and understood that whole idea of we're not broken, we don't need fixing. We just need to reconnect to who we truly are. And so that for me created a whole lot more empowerment in my life. And I love the modality because of that, because it speaks to me. So we are going to talk about, so why we're going to talk about the inner child, we're going to talk about it from the Huna perspective. And so I'll share with you the Huna perspective a little bit. So I'll share this picture. So from the Huna philosophy, we have within us a trifecta, if you will. So there are levels of the mind. So we're not three separate beings within, but we have sort of three levels of mind. So in psychology, they talk about it as superconscious, subconscious, and conscious. From a Huna perspective, we talk about it as we talk.
Okay. Sorry. Well, it looks like, because it looks like I'm listening on my headset.
There we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to mute everyone. So when we talk about from a Huna perspective, we have these three different levels of self, right? And so this is our inner child. This is who we want to connect with tonight. And so from a Huna perspective, we call this child the ku. And so the ku is where we store our memories. The ku is where we tell ourselves stories. The ku holds on to false beliefs, and the ku holds on to energy in our body. And the ku wants to speak with us and get our attention. And then we have what they call the lono, or the mother figure. And again, from the Hawaiian philosophy, even though they're representing her as the mother, she's not female nor male. She embodies both of them, right? Because when you're in balance, you actually balance the divine feminine and the masculine. So the lono is our conscious self. So this is our awake self. This is the self that makes decisions. This self makes better decisions when she's listening to her inner child, her ku, and she makes better decisions when she's listening to her superconscious, or from the Huna perspective, we call this the aumakua. And so the aumakua, or the higher consciousness, is where we connect to healing, where we connect to guidance, where we connect to teaching, knowing, intuition, we'll call that. So what ends up happening and when we're disconnected, so when we start to feel tired, when we start to feel empty, when our cup is kind of not full, is we're disconnected from that inner child. And so that inner child starts to try and get our attention, because that inner child's like, when we're connected to the Father here, we're in flow, everything works well. So I'm going to try and get your attention so that we can all connect and we can go back to feeling good. And so the way your ku is going to get your attention is in the best way they can. And if you think a child getting your attention, they may not do it using words or, using kind gestures. They're going to start to freak out. And so this might show up in digestive distress. This might show up in not being able to sleep or emotional upheaval. And so this child is doing the best to get your attention, but they don't know how else to do it. And so it's almost like you're having a temper tantrum. And so this is what we're going to do tonight. We're going to reconnect so that we can all be speaking together. And when we're all connected, then we can actually get into flow. And when we're in flow, that's when we're inspired. That's when we're full of energy. That's when we're full of love. And that's when we're able to give more love out. So we're going to fill our cup and we're going to reconnect our three selves tonight. So to sort of set the stage, what we have planned for this evening, we're going to take a little bit of time to just connect, to, the essence of nurturing. Then we're going to take some time to journal. So hopefully you've got a journal or paper nearby. You've got just a couple of prompt questions to get you sort of thinking about, what does that look like? What does nurturing look like for me? How do I want it to look? Then we're going to go into that guided meditation. We're going to meet our inner child tonight. So we're going to set you up for that. I'm going to walk you through everything. So if you're new to meditation, not to worry, we'll walk you through each step. And then after that, we're just going to wrap up, get some more time to, again, journal any insights that come through that. And then we'll wrap it up. So before we get started, I just want to, I wanted to set the stage. So of course, as I'm getting ready for this and feeling the energy and connecting to everybody's energy to talk about as a collective, what is it we need? I pulled a card from, so I don't know if anybody's worked with this deck, but I love it. It's called the Whispers of Healing deck. It's a beautiful deck. And the card I pulled, and I'm still a goosebump, no word of a lie, this was the card that I pulled. And I don't know if you can see that, self-love. And so what a perfect card for this evening. What a perfect card for what we're going to go. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're taking some time to love ourselves. We're taking some time to turn inward and reconnect. And so some of that imagery that we see here. So if you look at the woman, at the basically who's all of us, but that self-love is starting with that hug. So that embrace inwards, right? So we're very quick to love out. We're very quick to embrace our friends, our family members, our children, our pets. But what we're being called to do is embrace ourselves. And what we see as well, we have the stag here. And so the stag represents taking that moment, taking that solitude and working in that solitude. So we're going to embrace ourselves tonight. And we have set the intention tonight, all of us together, our collective energy is saying, we're here for some self-care. All right, so we're going to start. And so I want to just start to connect us to the energy of nurturing and what that looks like. So we're going to do sort of a mini meditation before we get into the big meditation. So I want you to get comfortable. So if you're seated, just have your back nice and supported. And just get nice and relaxed. If you're lying down, that's great. And try and get as much of your body just connecting with the surface that you're lying down on. And so we're just going to start with our eyes closed. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. And just hold for a second and then exhale with a gentle. I'm going to do it again. Another deep breath in through the nose, breathing in relaxation, holding, and exhaling out with a. Just letting go of our day, letting go of any conversations, or just bringing that relaxation in. And we're going to do one more deep breath in through the nose, holding and releasing with a. And I want you to picture holding a baby, a brand new baby, like fresh out of the oven, a brand new baby, swaddled, and you're holding that baby. And I want you to picture holding that baby on your chest, so heart to heart. And I want you to feel it. Feel the emotion that comes up. Feel the pressure. Feel perhaps the baby's breath just gently on your neck. And I want you to feel what comes up, the overwhelming love, the overwhelming comforting, and the love and the compassion and the hope and the dreams that you have for this tiny little infant, this newborn. And just feel your heart swell with that. And now I want you to just imagine that that infant is you. Just hold that baby for just a moment. What does that baby need? What does that baby want? As that caregiver to that baby, what is that baby asking for? Now I want you to give that baby just a quick kiss on the top of the head and then put that baby back down safely in their crib. And just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and gently come back into the room. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to reach for your journal now, or your piece of paper, or however you want to capture the essence of what you're feeling, the essence of what came up there for you. And so I've separated my page, but you can do it in whatever way you want. But we're going to ask a couple of questions. We are going to ask, how do I nurture myself? And we're also going to ask, how do I want to nurture myself? And so just take a moment to write. There's no right, there's no wrong. Just take a moment to write down both of those lists. So how do I nurture myself? And how do I want to nurture myself? When it's free form, there's no judgment about whatever comes up, just write. We're just observing the words. And as you start to gather your list, just have a look. Compare the lists. Are there differences? Are they the same? Are there any gaps? Is there anything that's come up for you that you can fill? That a gap or an aha or a wow, I do in my heart of hearts, I really want to do this. So just contemplate that for a moment. And so I don't have the luxury necessarily of the visual. So if there's someone who's like, oh my gosh, I still have 20 other things I need to write down, let me know. Either send me a quick message in the chat or turn on your audio to say I need more time. But otherwise, we're going to get ourselves ready. And really, this is what we're here for. So we're going to go inwards. We're going to meet that inner child, our coup. I like to call her my mini me, because she is the representation of the younger version of me, the childlike version of me who's looking for my attention. And so as we go into this exercise, the intention that we want to set is simply to have this meeting. We're not setting any type of intention for an outcome. Whatever happens is meant to happen, and it's exactly happening the way it's supposed to happen. Okay, so the intent really is to just connect and to observe, to be, to listen, to allow, and to tap into, that nurturing. What is that nurturing? What is that child asking you for? Okay. So we're going to get ourselves ready to go. And so a little bit different than maybe perhaps other meditations you've done, but we're actually going to rub our hands together. And so you notice when you rub your hands together, we're actually charging up our energy. And you can even say out loud, I'm charging up my energy. But what this does, and if you stop, you can feel the charge of energy go through you. And so that helps you connect. It helps you connect to the energy, and it'll help us connect to our inner child. Okay. So again, we're going to find ourselves a comfortable position. If you're sitting upright, just make sure that your back is well supported and that you're supported everywhere and comfortable. So there's no things that are poking at you or hurting you. If not, if you're lying down, lying on your back, connecting as many of your body parts as you can with the surface that you're on. Okay. And so we are going to start again. We're going to close our eyes. And we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose and hold and release with a gentle. We're going to inhale that beautiful relaxation through the nose, holding and releasing gently with a through the mouth. And a third time, deep breath in through the nose, holding and just letting go with a gentle. So I want you to picture yourself now in a beautiful forest, dense forest. And it's getting to end of day. The sun is still up, and you can see the sun caressing the leaves coming through. It's just a nice, gentle glow. You can feel the cool breeze on your face. And as you're walking, one step, two step, you can hear the leaves and the branches crunching underneath your feet. You can smell the fresh air. There's a hint of fragrance in the air. And I want you to keep walking. And just in front of you, I want you to notice that there is a stairway, a rocky stairway heading downwards, almost as though you're going into a tunnel. So you take that first step, and you can hear your foot, you can hear it echo against the stone wall. You take the second step and the third. And as you're going deeper, you can feel it get just a little bit cooler around you. Taking the fourth step and the fifth step, hearing the echo of your feet. And the sixth step and the seventh step. And now you can see the bottom. There's only 3 more steps to go. And you take the 7th and the 8th, and you feel and you hear your feet hit the bottom. And as you look into the distance, you can see a dim light. You can see the light coming through a door. So through the door, the space surrounding the door. So as you walk closer, there's a little bit more light. And you hear your footsteps. And you get to a beautiful, ornate wooden door. And it's got a beautiful bronze handle. And then you pull on the handle and open the door. And the light is bright And you've opened the door into the most spectacular, the most beautiful garden you've ever seen. And you take it all in. You can hear the birds singing. It's as though it is full, broad daylight again. You hear the birds singing. You can smell the flowers. There's trees off in the distance and a lavender field around you. As you walk through this garden, there's a water feature beside you. You stop and stick your hand in and feel the coolness of the water. And you're amazed at this garden. It's beautiful. It's like an ancient labyrinth filled with beautiful flowers and butterflies, and you can hear the gentle humming of the bees. And off in the distance, you see a tree. And underneath that tree is a bench. And you feel guided and pulled to walk towards that bench. And so you're walking towards the bench, and as you get closer, you realize there's someone on the bench. And you're being guided to come closer. There's an anticipation there, almost an excitement, a yearning to know who's there, to connect with who's on that bench. And so you take another couple of steps. And there in front of you is you. You as a child. Perfect, glowing reflection of you. And that child looks up, surprised. Surprised because they haven't been visited. They haven't been visited in so long. I thought you had forgotten. And so take a moment to look down into that child's beautiful eyes and say to that child, I love you. I am so sorry. I'm sorry that I haven't come to visit. I'm sorry that we've not connected. I'm sorry that you've been waiting here. I didn't know. Please forgive me. Thank you for letting me speak my heart. And now look at that child and ask that child if you can sit. And just allow that child, whatever that response is, just respect and allow it. And listen. Ask that child what they wanted to share with you. I'm here now. I'm listening. And just allow that message. And there may be a lot. Just allow. Notice what that child is sharing. Notice how you're feeling. Notice how the child feels. And thank that child for the bravery and for the honesty of all those words that have been unspoken for so long. And now ask this beautiful cherub, this beautiful child, this beautiful radiant light, this beautiful reflection of you. Ask this child, how can I nurture you? And thank that child again for the answers, for the truth. And this child wants to spend more time with you. This child wants to show you this beautiful garden, this beautiful heart space. Follow your child. Allow her to show you what she wants to show you. Take her hand if she extends it. And walk side by side and just be present and just give her your full attention as she takes you to explore this beautiful garden. What does she show you? What does she focus on? Does she run joyfully? Does she tentatively hold your hand? What does she need from you right now, besides your full, undivided attention? And immerse yourself in this. Hear the sound, feel the sensation. And as you're walking, admiring this child, this brave child, this child that's so full of life and so full of energy. Ask that child, is there any other messages that she wants to share with you? Anything else that she is calling you to do, to hear, to see, to pay attention to. And now I want you to turn around and walk back to the bench with your child. And when you reach the bench, have a seat and look back deep into those beautiful eyes, that soul, that reflection of you, and say to that beautiful child, I hear you. I see you. I feel you. And I am here for you. I am here to be the loving parent to you that you've needed for so long. I have found you now. I will be that loving parent. I will give you what you need. And just accept the response. And whatever the response is just perfect. And ask that child if there's any last words, last requests. And thank that beautiful child. Thank her for this beautiful visit. And promise her that you'll come back. You know the way now. So you can come back anytime to this beautiful garden, to this beautiful bench under this tree, and reconnect. And so it's time to say goodbye for now. Promise to come back and say your goodbyes. And you turn around, walking away from the bench, walking away from the tree, making your way back through the labyrinth, and passing that beautiful water feature, running your hands through it again. And as you stand up, you turn around and take one look back in the distance. A beautiful child is standing on that bench, beautiful, radiant smile on her face waving at you. And you wave back. And you turn around, walking towards that beautiful wooden door. And you open the door, turn around, take one look back, and way off in the distance, you can still see the tree. And maybe that's a hand waving, maybe that's the leaves waving, but knowing in your heart that you've found your child and that she's waiting for you to come back. And you close the door and head back into the stone passageway, hearing your feet echo as you take steps forward. And you see the light filtering down. When you reach the steps, you can see them as though each step is being illuminated as you step on it. So you're taking the 10th step, and the 9th, and the 8th, feeling your feet firmly touching the ground, and hearing the echo, the 7th, the 6th, and the 5th step. You're starting to see more light, and you can see the trees above you in the forest. And the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd step. You take a deep breath in, you can feel the cool, crisp forest air. You take a 2nd and the 1st step back. And you stand there for a moment, just feeling the change in the air and seeing that the sun has come down just a little bit more. There's still plenty of light to guide your way back out of the forest clearing. And you feel the gentle breeze on your face. You can hear the leaves rustling as you walk towards that forest clearing. And as you get to the edge of the forest, coming back into your body, gently wiggling your fingers and your toes, maybe turning your head from side to side, and taking a big, deep breath in and out. And taking a moment to center yourself and feel your feet grounded. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and come back into the room. And so now that's a pretty powerful exercise. And there's a lot that comes up, especially if this is your first time. So now would be a perfect time to pull out the journal, maybe take a couple minutes just to write down any of that guiding wisdom, any of the asks, anything that came out of that conversation with that child. So maybe take just a couple of minutes to write that down. And don't censor the writing, just whatever comes out, whatever emotion. If there's tears, if there's any emotion, don't censor, let those out. That's the energy moving, and the healing comes from releasing that. And just observe as though you're observing someone else who's writing a story. And simply looking at it with curiosity. And then just take a moment to reflect on what you've just written and take a moment to go back to your list from before. So if you think of the ways you want to be nurtured, if you think of the current ways you nurture yourself, do you have new ideas? Are you inspired? Do you have inspiration to fill the gaps, perhaps between the two lists? Connect the two. So maybe just take another minute or two just to wrap up your thoughts, just to wrap up any insights, any ahas that you might have been given. And I invite you now to just do a gentle body scan. So just closing your eyes and scanning your body now. And just feeling the difference now from when you started. Is the energy lighter? Is it more electric? Are you feeling calmer? Are you feeling stormier? Just tune into that and honor that right now. And trust that you're exactly where you need to be, experiencing exactly what you need to be experiencing and moving through right now. And if you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is absolutely meh and 10 is absolutely glorious, give yourself that rating. And then I encourage you to come back and come back to the recording and come back to this exercise of sitting with yourself, of revisiting yourself, of reigniting that connection to your deeper inner knowing, reconnecting to that beautiful child who all along just wants you to love her the way you love everyone else. And every time you do that exercise, coming out of it, and then just rating that sensation in your body, how you're feeling afterwards. And so I thank you. I thank you all for taking the time out of your evening to reconnect your inner child, to connect and create this beautiful energy of this group here tonight. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your participation, and I will be sending out the recording shortly. So I offer you this if you're still in a position of quiet reflection, then you can continue on that way. You can turn off the video. You can go on with your evening. You're welcome, Sumati. And just honor what you need tonight. So whether that is sleep, whether that is you need some water, you need some hydration, you need a bath, whatever that came through, whatever nurturing you need, just honor that. Just be gentle with yourself tonight and kind as you head into your evening and bedtime routine.